Oh boy, here we are again. Here we are again. It's another week of Big 12 picks. It's another opportunity for BYU to lose its first game of the year. Remember, the Cougars and the Cyclones are both ranked inside the top 15. Iowa State's inside the top 10 thanks to the road win at Iowa, which continues to look stronger as the season progresses. And neither team has lost a game. Could BYU help the Big 12 be a two-bid league? Could Iowa State? Could they both? We'll wait and see. But I was late to the party on the Cougars bandwagon. You know, the train was leaving the station, and I was convinced, no, it's going to leave on time. It's not going to leave the station right now. It's not. And then I saw it inching away, and I thought, well, I can. That's probably a mechanical issue. They're just testing it out. And then it started to get full steam ahead, and I grabbed onto the ladder on the back of the caboose, climbed aboard James Bond style, got myself into the cabin, and we are all aboard. So, BYU, they're going down. They're going down. This time, I believe it. They have got... No, I couldn't keep a straight face. They're playing Oklahoma State this week. It's at home. LaVell Edwards Stadium. Oklahoma State hasn't won a Big 12 game yet this year. By the way, they won a game in which they gave up over 600 yards of offense to Arkansas. They shouldn't have won that game. They kind of lucked into it. They're not running the football. Alan Bowman is exactly what I said. And for those Cowboy fans who thought I was just hating, I kind of tried to tell you weren't winning the Big 12 with Alan Bowman as your quarterback. So, of course, they're going to go in to Provo and beat BYU 27-24. Now, those BYU fans returning to this video, you all will understand. Newcomers will not understand. You won't get it, and you know what? That's okay. That's okay. Oklahoma State 27, BYU 24. Cincinnati 24-20. I think they beat Arizona State. Sun Devils have not been the same team on the road this year, and Kenny Dillingham has done a great job emphasizing the home environment down there in Tempe at Mountain America Stadium. And it has gotten a lot better because for the last couple of years, when the Sun Devils were down, it was dead. It was not much of a home environment to play in. It wasn't a huge home field advantage. It has been this year. Utah learned that last week. Kansas learned that the prior week. The Jayhawks almost pulled the upset when I picked them to, but Kansas, so I'm going to pick to win later. I don't really know why. I'm just going to. For the fun of it at this point, Arizona State has not been the same team on the road. They lost to Texas Tech, good team, and they squeaked by Texas State. Also a solid team at the G5 ranks, but they go to Cincy, and it's a long trip. Teams go in multiple time zones or one time zone over. I don't remember which time zone Arizona's on right now. Fun fact, sometimes Arizona's on Pacific time and sometimes it's on Mountain time, depending on the time of year, because you just change time zones. I don't know. I don't know how they do it there. Maybe if I live in Arizona one day, I will learn. But I think Cincinnati at home gets it done. 24-20 over Arizona State. Colorado. This was one of my favorite upset picks before the year. Arizona fans weren't very happy with me. Didn't like the notion of losing to Colorado. How realistic does that feel right now? Arizona's just a 3.5-point home favorite. And guess what? I don't have any faith in the Wildcats right now. Home, road, don't care. Colorado, bounce back spot. Gave it up late against Kansas State after making a late surge. The defense collapses, but I still like the offense. They can still move the football. I'll feel a lot better if Travis Hunter is, back to 100% being himself, but I picked this before the year. I'm not coming off of it. Colorado 34, Arizona 27. They go into Tucson and win. Arizona better watch out because when the duel in the desert rolls around last week of the regular season, who are you picking to win that game right now? Arizona State's got a better record. Doesn't mean they're the better team automatically. But I'm just saying. You probably wrote that in Sharpie as a win before the year. You better not now. ASU's pretty good, though I think they go down this week. Texas Tech plays Baylor. Good luck, Baylor. 41-24. Next, Dave Aranda's time is fleeting. Iowa State plays UCF. The Golden Knights have got an opportunity to save their season. It's been a disappointing one for Gus Malzahn and company to this point. They have rotated quarterbacks. They forgot how to throw the ball forward. The offense has been stagnant for an offensive coach. That's not a very good look. I'm not out on Gus Malzahn. I think he needs a couple years to stabilize, or rather elevate the talent profile of the roster across the board, not just with transfers, but with a high school recruiting class or two as well. They have gone up in the recruiting rankings. I'm just saying it'll take time. It's going to take time. BYU hasn't taken as much time so far, though I'll remind you that BYU missed a bowl game last year. They were not on the same level. Like, they were a group of 5-ish. They weren't a Power 4, but they were kind of closer to a Power 5 team than a group of 5. BYU, I think, was ahead of the other teams coming into the league from the American Conference. UCF just might not be there yet. And Iowa State, they've got big aspirations. They're playing good football. Impressive win last week in Morgantown against West Virginia. I had that circled as better watch out. Going to be a good game. Lo and behold, it was. But Iowa State won. They will do it in big fashion this week, 38-17. They beat UCF. Kansas State. I like Kansas State. I don't hate West Virginia. That's the best way I can put it. I don't hate West Virginia. I don't love West Virginia, and I like Kansas State. This is on the road. Tough test. They did it last week against Colorado. I think they can do it again here. 31-20, Kansas State goes on the road and wins. Avery Johnson's evolution as a passer will be one of the biggest stories in the Big 12 if he continues to progress from what I have seen when I watch him play football. 31-20, they go into Morgantown. They get the win, and they cover. Utah is at home. Cam Rising. Oh, boy. It's everybody's least favorite game. Everyone's favorite game is, will Spencer pick BYU to lose again? Of course, the answer is yes. Everyone's least favorite game is, will Cam Rising play football? Nope, he's not playing again this season. He's going to ponder whether to get an 8th year of eligibility. I said earlier this week, this has got to be driving Kyle Whittingham up a wall. He's got to be going berserk dealing with this stuff over and over again. If this were in Fort Worth, I'd take TCU. They've been a disappointing team for me so far. I'll take the Utah defense to play one of its better games of the season and get this win. Isaac Wilson will be in at quarterback, at least I presume. 17-13. Utah wins. Ugly slugfest. Kansas Houston in the game that means so incredibly little. I'm just happy for Houston that they won a Big 12 game. Upset TCU. That's a disappointing loss for the Horned Frogs and company. But I guess Kansas, that's the best thing that I could say about this game either way. I guess I'm picking this team. Kansas has let me down. Big disappointment. Losing Annie Kotelnicki, clearly a big loss because Jalen Daniels is not the same guy. And at Kansas, might take you a couple years to get this thing back up. We know Lance Leipold can do it. They've got the right guy in place, presuming they don't allow him to get poached elsewhere, though his name is certainly going to cool down in the coaching carousel this offseason because of how this season has gone. That's the good news if you're the Jayhawks, is your guy's not getting poached because he's not going to make a bowl game this year. But he'll win this week against Houston 31-23.